We timed it perfect with the lava lamp though. It's just starting to go. COVID happens. Anyways, COVID happens. We're running out of activities, me and my son. We've been fishing a bunch of times. I mean, the trampoline parks are shut down. The arcades are shut down. Everything's shut down. I'm over here like, all right, we're not inside people. Even though that's the directive, we're outside people. We want to go play. So I'm like, let's buy a Jeep. I have these memories from when I'm 18, being outside, going camping, dirt roads, all the stuff that people in Nevada like ourselves like to enjoy. Get on Craigslist. I'm like, I'm buying a Jeep today. Set up 3 appointments, show up to the first one, which I ended up purchasing, luckily. It was horrible pictures. I almost skipped it because the guy just did a horrible representation of the Jeep. Description was horrible. He had no clue what it was, that it just had an issue. Show up, this thing had trussed, sea-gusseted axles, which is a lot of metal and takes a lot of work and fabrication time. Had a 488, which is a couple $1,000 swap just on its own. Was already built to go rock crawling, had a lot of sliders and metal put on it. The frame was already done. It was already welded in with sliders. The bumpers front and rear were ready already, and it just needed a winch pretty much. I had no clue about rock crawling. Yeah, I had the winch bumper, which I ended up putting a 9,000 pound Badlands winch on, which has worked for 3 years now, unassisted. I went with the 9,000 pound. I'm usually not pulling myself out of stuff. When I am, my Jeep's pretty light, so it's very easy for that. But I bought it so if I had to do bigger rigs, which I've pulled out F-250s and huge, trucks that little Jeeps probably shouldn't be yoking on. But it does its job. Bought the Jeep, found out it had all this equipment. I wasn't a rock crawler, nor have I ever owned a Jeep built like that. Had my friends tell me about it. Then I ended up on Facebook doing Jeep runs because I didn't know anybody with Jeeps at that point. And everybody was on both ends of the spectrum. They were really afraid of COVID and were staying inside, or they were just like, we're not sure what that is. We're not scared of the flu, or let's go have some fun. Anyways, we're having fun. I meet a guy. He says, you don't know what you have. And I didn't, obviously. So I agreed. And he told me the next week he's been planning a trip to the Rubicon for 2 years and to meet him there. And that was the first time I ever even heard about the Rubicon. So we're palling around the Rubicon, my first trip. He's like, we're gonna go up this really extreme trail.
I think we can make it.
It's called Old Sluice. And anybody who's done Old Sluice knows that it's just a rock ravine. And once you get in, you're going through, and that's the only way out. It's really hard with trail traffic in there because you can't turn around or do anything. End up getting halfway through it my first trip, and I blow up the ring gear, which is your teeth on your axle that make your tires spin. So the ring gear actually is the main source of why your tires are spinning besides your pinion. So mine pinned, grenaded a few teeth, and I was dead in the water. First trip out, first rock crawling trip out. Ended up having to get towed out of there. Took us 6 hours to get from halfway in the Rubicon all the way back to Tahoe. We're able to get trailered out, luckily. And that was my first instance of feeling that kind of scared. What are we gonna do in the middle of nowhere with no cell reception and no tools to fix this technically? But fortunately, I was with a very experienced person. He was able to come up with a pretty quick plan and ended up making it out, no problem. And once that happened, I was hooked. And now today we're on a whole different mission. And the Rubicon's become our home pretty much. We got to run it multiple times a year. We've already ran it once this year. I can't wait. Every time I say that word Rubicon, my brain just lights up. I could feel all my neurons on fire. And I just want to get out there and go play. It's a big playground.